Okay, welcome back. Hour number 2. Glad you're along tonight. I'm Jeff Rentz, and wherever you are and whenever you're listening, tonight, next week, next year, or sometime in the future, and you never know, maybe even in the past. Hello and welcome. This is going to be a fun hour. Once in a while, somebody really looks at the big picture and distills it into a book to give us a better handle on what's happening, all of us. And this is one such book. It is very interestingly titled. It's called Pardon the Disruption, The Future You Never Saw Coming. It's a great title. 3 authors, Clayton Rawlings, James Randall Smith, Rob Bencini. These are very bright legal minds, all of them. The first 2 are attorneys. This book is really interesting. We're going to have a lot of fun with this. Let me just read a little bit about it to you so you understand where we're going to go. And I'm not sure where we're going to go, but we're going to have a good time. Pardon the Disruption highlights how many times have I talked about this to you folks, and you've emailed me. You understand. Technology is not just accelerating. It is out of control, exploding. I have never seen more between-the-lines writing, direct writing, and indications that technology in certain areas is 20, 30, 40 years, maybe more ahead of us. We're not being told, we've never been told the truth. We know that. Let me just read this again here. Pardon the Disruption highlights the exponential advances in technology. Exponential in all caps. Advances in technology that have disrupted the legal system and the economy over time, but those changes will pale in comparison to what is about to occur. The book, Pardon the Disruption, is written in 2 parts. The first part discusses the effect, past and projected future, on the legal system. The second part on the economy. The 2 come together in a conclusive scenario that changes everything. The conclusions reached by the trio of authors are not only possible or plausible, but very likely to occur in the future, and I would suggest, in many ways, the very near future. These inveterate trend watchers set a confluence of trends and see a confluence of trends that will lead to legal, economic, and governance changes that will have dramatic effects on all of us. Using both real-life and engaging fictional stories to illustrate their compelling points, this trio of authors not only reports on major trends occurring in the legal and economic realms, but uniquely projects where these exponential advances of technology will take us. No other book on the market has made these connections and projected future outcomes like this one. We're going to talk this hour to Clayton Rawlings, J.D. from Houston, Texas. He is a former assistant district attorney for Harris County, Texas, spent 5 years as a criminal defense attorney, and the last 20 years in personal injury litigation in the greater Houston area. Hello, Clayton. Welcome to the program. Can I call you Clay?
Yeah, Jeff. My grandfather went by Clayton. Clay is what I go by, and it's great to be with you this evening.
Thank you. Thank you for the book, all 3 of you. This is, again, one of the books that I really like to come across because it allows people to pull back. It's so hard with all the noise, the deluge of geopolitical, physical, economic, financial events, social events on us through the mainstream garbage media, that most people can't turn the noise off, step back, clear their head, and take an honest look at where this is going. And where this is going is so fast and so furious that I don't think very many people, you guys understand it. Most of my audience has a very good working knowledge of it. This is the best audience in talk radio, and I say that with a lot of wisdom, having known them and worked with them for a long time, Clay. So you're in very good hands. Let me ask you the obvious opening question. How fast is technology exploding?
I hate to just dump a whole bunch of numbers on your audience, but I don't know any other way to demonstrate what is happening. Eric Schmidt, the CEO for Google, determined that from the dawn of mankind to the year 2003, we generated 5 exabytes of data, information.
All right.
And that would be a 5 followed by 18 zeros. All right. So that's 8,000 years of time.
Sure.
In 2010, we were creating 5 exabytes of data every 2 days.
Every 2 days. Every 2 days. My God, that's even more astonishing when you gave me the first number to work with, to think about, to project that. That's I can't even compute it.
Well, and then where it gets insane is in 2014, right now, mankind globally is creating 5 exabytes of data every 10 minutes.
Oh my. All right, well, it's as bad as I thought and worse. That is truly mind-boggling. It boggles the brain. Now, of course, Clay, we don't have to worry because there's oversight, there's restraint, there's wisdom, there's temperance about all this, and everyone is thoroughly processing, projecting, and trying to understand what the downsides of such an unprecedented science fiction rate of explosive technology this is. So don't worry about a thing, folks. Just be happy. Your future right now, dear friends, is so locked and sealed, it's not funny. Years ago, Clay, I had a fellow come on the program often, every 3 months, and he'd do an update on this is 10, 15 years ago now, on nanotechnology, which, of course, is extraordinary. Now,
sure.
He disappeared. No phone calls, no return calls, nothing. He dropped out. And the reason? He was told to stop talking, because what he was revealing was quite fascinating, if not downright frightening. And I'm sure he was told to shut the hell up. Simple.
The term for how they're using this amount of information, for us, people like me and yourself, it's just noise. There is so much data now streaming, we can't, really use it. It's just, it's background noise. However, if you have a large enough mainframe, and if you have highly sophisticated algorithms that are engaged in pattern recognition, you can make sense of all that data.
Oh, it becomes quite usable, doesn't it, to the people who have that control? Yeah.
And with enough data points, they're going to know everything about every one of us. You read a lot in the press about racial profiling, which, I don't agree with. I think that's wrong. Obviously, it occurs. But more importantly, because of big data and because of the size of, their ability to crunch massive numbers of information now, we're all being profiled. Forget racial profiling. They're profiling every one of us.
That's Stone Age. That's nothing. Forget it, absolutely. Right. You said something very interesting. I don't know if you meant to say it in the sense I heard it. We always talk about Big Brother, Big Brother. Well, Big Brother is antiquated now. You said big data.
Yes.
That's the biggie.
And we lost our privacy, but it wasn't in this Orwellian hell with jackbooted thugs. Technology stripped it from us, and we were willing participants. And, the Supreme Court absolutely facilitated this.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get into a political discussion, but sometimes when you're in law, you can't help it because it touches it. The two of them are clearly joined at the hip. But I think, because some people, we live in a false dichotomy, liberal, conservative, Republican, Democrat, however you want to describe it, positive, negative, pessimist, that's not what the universe is. When you look, out at the night sky, I mean, we have this infinite universe in front of us, and the problems we're dealing with require, nuanced thought. These are complex problems. You can't solve them with a bumper sticker slogan. And
no, but may I ask you to hold that thought? We have to take a little break here. You can't solve them with a bumper sticker slogan. every younger generation, as you well know, probably better than most, becomes, I don't want to call them dumber, but they really are dumber. I'm going to call them less mentally competent to engage in the act of living, creating, and achieving than their forebears. They're finished. And there are exceptions. But the government schools and the protocols, and I mean the protocols, folks, have it so well down that I don't see, honestly, any realistic reason to be optimistic that the masses are ever going to get up off their wallets, their empty wallets, their student loans, and do anything. But hold on and let me get your response in just a minute, Clay, if you would. The book is really a great one. It's brand new. Pardon the Disruption, the future you never saw coming. Be right back. Okay, and we're back with Clay Rawlings, attorney, along with his two co-authors, the man behind Pardon the Disruption, the future you never saw coming. And I can tell, Clay, that 99% of America never saw this. The 1% and those of that 1% and the few outside of it who could really assemble and process this kind of explosion. And it's a thermonuclear explosion in technology and data. Maybe had an idea, but the sheep never did. Tell us your idea on this. Give us more. Sure.
The technology is power. Okay, government is power, technology is power, but technology does not concern itself with government at all, and it is moving fast enough now that it's actually disrupting the law itself. We all know it has disrupted business models. We invented the car, the blacksmith got fired. Okay,
sure.
That's an easy example, but that has nothing to do with law. But now it's actually interfering with our sovereignty. I'll give you two examples. Gambling is against the law in most states. Obviously we have casinos allowed in some states, but for the most part, most states, gambling is illegal. However, you have internet gambling sites in Costa Rica where gambling is legal, and they roll across all 50 states, and you can gamble, night and day to your heart's content. And the government, even though it's against the law, they can't stop it. So that is one example, facilitated by the internet, where your sovereignty is irrelevant to what is happening in your community. The other example would be pornography. When I was in the DA's office, they were prosecuting gamblers, facilitators of gambling, and they were prosecuting pornography cases. They'd go after, and I'm not talking about nudie pictures on Playboy. I'm talking about really sick stuff.
Stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, now they don't bother with either one of those. There's virtually no law enforcement in that realm because it's been rendered irrelevant. It's all on the internet. It's 2 clicks of the mouse away in every household in the nation.
For a 6 or a 7 or an 8-year-old child.
Correct. And, now, so I've explained how technology rolled over our borders and ignores them. And that's the power of technology. What I propose is we need technological fixes for that, such as filters, because a lot of people say, well, we need to ban it. And, whenever they come up with an inconvenient technical problem, they say, well, we'll just ban it, like they banned embryonic stem cell research. No other nation in the world did. And we had this massive leak on stem cell research, a coming multi-trillion-dollar economy.
Huge.
And all we did was give them 6 years to play catch-up. That's not right. But the other thing is, when people talk about banning, I'll give you one example using some numbers so people can understand it just will not work. We made possession of cocaine against the law, in the 1930s. Well, in 1980, and we have spent billions and billions of dollars, we've incarcerated hundreds of thousands of people fighting the drug war. Well, in 1980, when I was an assistant DA in Harris County, the price of a kilo of cocaine was $50,000. Okay,
that's 2.2 pounds, folks. All right, yeah,
correct.